Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Wow, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are gun owners in the same way. I'm celibate, but only when my right hand's tired. Stay tuned, folks. We got a lot to unpack here. Let's start the show.
Who the starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Well, as you may have seen in the last debate and quite a few other times in recent history, depending on when this video comes out, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have both expressed their undying commitment to gun ownership. Note, not saying the Second Amendment, but to gun ownership, which is terrifying because, of course, they're trying to pander to the lowest common denominator, the idiots amongst us who will actually believe shit like that. And shame on you, by the way, if you do. We're starting off strong, I know. But hey, every now and again they do get ones. Just in case some of you idiots out there are watching and haven't already clicked away for me calling you idiots before.
Check it out. You shit, you're stupid.
Welcome to the very first segment of Dumb Gun News, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to be Tundra is going back to the range, if you can believe it.
You serious?
We're stepping out, touching grass, and going to make a shooting video. Now, we can't make videos like this without good friends in the industry, and we've had a great track record so far. I'm happy to announce a brand new one in Dead Air Silencers. They are going to be our buddies, helping us out do videos like this in the future. And I mean, let's be honest, they're Sandman, they're Nomax, they're Nomad LTIXCs, the TIXCs. They're some of the top in the industry. So if you're on Rumble, make sure to check out, make sure to tell them Tundra sent you. All right, so as you guys saw, yeah, Kamala Harris has been going on and on and on. Same with Tim Walz about how they're staunch gun owners and they're in support of gun ownership. Of course, we don't know what kind or if they're even telling the truth. Obviously, they're politicians. They're probably not.
You just think the government's just batting 1,000 and telling us the whole truth?
But we know where this story ends up. We know where the story ends up, obviously. But I would like to highlight some of the hilarity involved in these statements and some of the reasons why people that might be considering them more acceptable or more palatable, more quote unquote American just because they own a gun, why they should be a little wary of politicians trying to wear all of those hats to influence you. Let's start off with a quote, shall we? Kamala Harris and I, Tim Walz said, are both gun owners. He said this on X after the debate. He says, we're not going to take away your Second Amendment rights. We're going to prevent your kids from getting shot at school. Timmy, you do me a favor. Tell me how you're going to do that.
I just am speaking like I haven't thought about this at all.
By taking away our Second Amendment rights, slowly but surely. But I know you, man. Like, I've watched you here. I know how we operate now. So yeah, if you guys don't know, I'm from Minnesota. I've seen the legacy of Tim Walz. That this state's been left with. It's obvious we don't want him as our vice president, but him to say this to try to sound more appealing to like a swing conservative is just the most crazy thing in my mind. Let's just be honest here. Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, you guys are not gun owners. You're gun owners in the same way I'm a race car driver for owning a car.
I'm a professional.
I mean, you know, everything is getting way out of line and way out of whack. Possibly proof that we're living in a simulation right now. The NRA has felt the need to step in by sharing a clip on X of Harris being asked by MSNBC what she would do about the millions of assault weapons in circulation right now. Well, Kamala Harris was quoted as saying, "We gotta have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program."
Have you had your hearing tested?
Excuse me? I thought we weren't coming for your guns. I thought we weren't coming for your Second Amendment rights. No, we're not. We're just gonna, through legalese, force you all to just buy them back. Once again, to the people who are not seeing her for, and Tim Walz for who they really are, just evil politicians trying to convince you to like them by being disingenuous. They're showing you two sides of the same coin here. They're showing you how quickly they flip-flop back and forth. At one point in time, it's convenient for them to support gun buybacks. At another time, it's convenient for them to be a liberal gun owner, trying to advance the cause and evolve gun ownership into the next level. No, you're not. What you're doing is you're trying to have the best of both worlds. You're trying to make everybody happy while pissing everybody off at the same time. That's the way it should be.
That's my opinion!
Unfortunately, it's just not the way America works. People are blinded by their rose-tinted glasses, and they want to see whatever their little echo chamber tells them to see. Don't believe this bullshit, folks. They're going for your sanity here. They're attacking your intelligence here, honestly. They're expecting you to be dumb enough to believe this. Don't believe it. The too long did not read version of this is the NRA summarized this entire thing by saying Kamala Harris is an existential threat to the Second Amendment. I mean, the NRA is a freaking existential threat to the Second Amendment in some cases. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, Marion. But to have them say that about Kamala Harris should be putting the red flags up for a lot of people. And speaking of red flags, tune into a later episode where we talk a little bit more about how a new executive order will be changing all that. We'll be breaking that down in detail in a future video.
Cool, boy.
I honestly find it completely hilarious that after, I think this was after the debate, she gets on Oprah, gets all buddy and slips into like this horribly poor attempt to be cool by going on and saying this.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If
And I thought
somebody
that was
breaks in
powerful.
my house, they're getting shot.
Did anybody have that one on their bingo card for this year? Come on, that was hilarious. First of all, once again, it's like the billionaires club, right? You know, the unbelievable crazy politician and the turbo successful exploitative Oprah all together talking about America's problems like they really give a shit and like they have any connection to this at all. But she goes on to say that anybody that comes into my house is gonna get shot, right? And that is unbelievably hilarious. I mean, I'm confused at this point. This whole time you've been talking about how we need to ban this and buy back that, and now we're like flip-flopping on the whole home intrusion thing. What if one of those kids that you are so concerned about protecting with those buyback programs and not taking away our Second Amendment rights, what if one of those kids is the person that breaks into your house? You just gonna indiscriminately shoot them because they're in your house?
Want to see a magic trick? Good. Abracadabra.
Probably not. Honestly, I think we're not even like addressing the main point here. This is once again Oprah, billionaire Oprah, cultural icon Oprah, right? Who hasn't lived a normal day's life in decades. And Kamala Harris, who probably also hasn't lived a normal human being, normal American day's life in decades, whole life. I don't know. It's them talking about the average American's problems. This is not like, why? Well, it should be Joan from fucking Target up there, you know, fat and fupa hanging out over her fucking yoga pants and everything, talking about how the price of milk is getting too much. And all the while she's huffing down Baby Ruth like they're going out of style. That's who should be on fucking Oprah.
And do you have any tea that don't taste like shit?
It's asinine to even think it's acceptable to take into account Kamala Harris's opinion on this. I mean, sure, Hollywood movies exist where vice presidents get assassinated and assaulted late in their homes under Secret Service protection. Oh, and by the way, we know that they got the A-team working with her and Joe because all the DEIs went to Trump. But let's be honest here, our evildoer will have his T-zone remotely ventilated multiple times before he even gets to the door. I'm sorry if I take your attempt at pandering to the lowest common denominator as what it's really meant to be. A joke, much like your claim that you and Tiny Tim are actual gun owners. Get bent, nerd. That bald fuck from your state, Tim, said get bent. I'm gonna... oh, dude, what if she sicks the Clintons on me? Save me, folks.
Go away, Baton.